Ahoy and welcome to this Narrowboat adventure. So today I've been to visit a new business boat, the Floating Bike Repairs, my friend Sam's boat. We've moored together a couple of times and I found out that he just started this new boat business, fixing bikes. So I've known him as a bike repairman on land. I really enjoyed going and spending time with him because as we were filming, every like 5 or so minutes he would have to sort of go and repair somebody's bike. So I'm going to let Sam take the lead with this video because he is very lovely and very good at talking. So I did mostly just filming for this one. So I hope you enjoy hearing from Sam all about his new business, the Floating Bike Repairs.
My name is Sam Skinner and I am the Floating Bike Repairs. Always lived on the river or on the sea, and cycling's my life, and it's definitely the place for me. Hold on. Wickwoods at the moment, continuous cruiser. Apart from now, because I've got the coots nesting down there. I was going to tell you actually, coots nesting down there, so it means I'm here for 6 to 8 weeks at least, just north of Hackney Wick. I started riding bikes when I was, well, two-wheeled bikes when I was 3, so it's quite young, and then I just remember my mum showing me how to fix punctures and stuff. Just loved riding a bike, going down the road, learning 2 wheels, and then riding with kids down the road and things like that, and then riding in the woods and then having nobody to hang out with, and then be like, I'll just ride around the woods on my own, and then started riding BMX, and then BMX racing, and then just got naturally into bike mechanics. I didn't want to have to pay, obviously, and then I used to hang out in some bike shops and then learnt a bit there, but it's all just learning from home basically, mostly from fixing punctures. I was a Saturday boy in Marshall's in Stevenage. I wanted my own bike shop, and I knew that I wasn't going to earn enough money immediately to be able to just start paying what, like 800 quid a month for rent, because it seems like ridiculous. I wouldn't even want to pay someone 800 quid a month. I'd be like, there's something wrong here, like what, 800 quid for this room? It sort of doesn't really make sense, even though that's what the reality is, I suppose. But so I always wanted to do it at home, and then I found out obviously you could do it from living on the river, trader's license, and was like, obviously you're going to do it. And then I thought, I need to get a really specific boat, like go find a boat, and then I realised I already had this boat. I was like, actually, hang on a minute, I could have a bike workshop there, and then it all just fit into place. Like a lot of things, I was like, actually, I already have everything that I need, kind of. I even have the bike tools already, so it's just like I could have started 2 years ago, but and then I just did it all legitimately, and it took a long time to get everything in alignment, so I had time and energy to do it. The garage, I call it the garage. It's literally like I would say the perfect size in a way. Not too big, not too small for single bike clamp, and tools and everything set up. Even the height of it is good for me, which is hard to find. But small living space, but half the boat is basically garage, and basically all a bike shop is a garage, isn't it? So. Oh yeah, that's what people do sometimes as well. Sometimes people they pay, like, she didn't really owe me anything, but she brought me down a massive bag of tea. You know what I mean? I think she must have, well, I don't think she bought it, she probably nicked it or got it from work or something like that. Which is fair enough, but now I've got a lot I already had a lot of tea bag, but now I've got even more. Well, I don't keep many bikes on here really. I try and get bikes in and out in one day or within an hour or two, because there's obviously limited space, but on the roof a bit, or obviously there's some bikes there, but they're actually for sale, only because I've accumulated them. I didn't really want to sell bikes, but you just kind of get bikes a bit and then got to sell them. Wondered this a lot, and at first I was thinking I have to get them sent to my mum's house, and then maybe every Wednesday I have to get the train up and then get a box on the train back down or something. But actually it's so much easier than that. I just find the nearest address, i.e. the shop at the bottom of the flats over there, and then get them delivered to there, and then the driver gets there and goes, oh, call this number before, and then they don't mind really waiting 2 minutes for me to just blast up there, so the shop doesn't even see the stuff. I just meet them on the bridge basically.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's good actually, yeah.
Well done.
And it comes next day. I did an order today, and comes tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Come midday tomorrow. So a bit too easy, really. The boat's built in 1952 in Holland. It was a water taxi, so it's got the handholds like a bus. It was a water taxi to move farm workers around the north of Holland, Zandam Island or something like that. Then it sat for about 10 years apparently, and then the old owner sold it off to a broker, and then the broker sold it to me. It came over on a lorry. I think the best boats you've got to go and find. If you brought it over here, or it'd be more expensive before you even, I don't know, you've got to go over there really, dig them up. Refloat them. No, this wasn't under the water. Definitely haven't dropped a bike in the water. I got my technique quite good to get the bikes in and out actually. I wouldn't be worried about that too much, but yeah, all of the parts are all kept inside the boat actually, but all of the old pieces of metal, somebody comes and takes them every 2 weeks or something like that, but they pile up on the outside, but I thought I might as well just leave them out there. Yeah, well they look like they'll fall in, but they don't really fall in. It takes them to a scrap metaler, and then gets probably like £6 for like a big thing of like steel. I've been boating ever since I learnt to sail on Stanborough Lakes in Welwyn Garden City, and then my dad had a boat in Bournemouth for about 5 years, like a water ski boat basically. We used to go down and stay on that and go out to sea in that, and then had a bit of a break from boats I think, and then I did an engineering apprenticeship, and then finished that engineering apprenticeship, and then went travelling, and then basically sort of through travelling and after travelling I ended up working in Greece for a sailing company for 3 years, and then worked away on super yachts basically, and some commercial dive boats, and then did private charter work on some sailboats and motorboats, and then kind of moved back to London, and always knew I wanted a canal boat actually, because a distant friend lived on a canal boat, but I knew it was always for me because, I don't know, I just knew it was.
I think once you've been on the water it's hard to get.
Yeah, exactly, I couldn't live in a flat. Flat just sounds so boring to live in a flat. It's even the word is horrible, right? And then I've lived on the river for about 4 years, and I've had 4 boats.
Cool.
It's got to be the changeability, where you can just, everything changes, but not too fast. You know, you can just be in a different town, basically, just untie, move around. It must be the changeability, but there's obviously many factors, isn't it? It's like, I like the early mornings, getting up when it's cold and fresh, and you go outside and you're immediately outside. It's a bit like camping, isn't it? So it's like you're already, it's like glamping or something. It's like camping in a really good tent, one that doesn't leak and it's not too drafty, and you've got a fire and kitchen. So it's perfect in a way. And I like living right next to the woods, so you can just get up and walk in the woods.
Yeah, I like that too.
Most people in houses get up and turn the TV. Oh, that's a good big factor, is not having a TV. Like you don't default and turn on some stupid box and watch news. You get up and look out the window at the nesting coots. The worst thing, that's a tough question actually, because I've never thought like, oh, this is such a chore. I've never thought that. It used to feel like work when I worked on some commercial boats, when it would be like so much to do and so much distance to cover and so many demands of like boat owners and stuff like that. But on here, I'm the owner captain, so I just put as much pressure on as I want to. So I wouldn't say there's any downside of almost living on a boat. Even in the winter, I like the fire, as you know probably. Put the fire on, it's like wicked. People are always like, oh, is it cold in here? It's like, no, it's not cold in here at all. It's like baking hot, if I want it to be. Baking hot, hotter than your house. But it's like either boiling hot or freezing cold, isn't it? That's what I find.
Really
the middle ground is sort of rare. Seems like a lot more real to just burn a bit of coal or wood, and you can go and get wood there, you know. So it's like, it's a lot more measurable rather than just turning on this little computer box which kicks your boiler on. It's like, how do they find me on the internet? They find me on the internet best. I have the website www.floatingbike repairs.co.uk. There's the Instagram, Floating Bike Repairs. I always say that the best is my phone, because that's always working and I don't always have internet. Yeah, I mean, I can say my phone number is 07985 728 647. That's the best to get me on, because I always have that. But obviously, not all people want to call today. So the easiest way, if you're for an Instagram user, because someone looks on it every 5 minutes or something, is to follow me on Floating Bike Repairs, because any movements on there, you'll see where I am. But if you're not an Instagrammer, then go on the website floatingbikeRepairs.co.uk and you can see on there, or just call me. But the thing is, I'm never that far away, so if you knew where I was 2 weeks ago, ideally if you've got my number, you can text me and I'll text you where I am, or just go down the river a little bit, or just round the corner and I'll be there. So I don't move fast enough for you to lose me.
So a big thank you to Sam for letting me come and film with you, and also thank you for telling me all about your lovely business and for the cups of tea. Yeah, I really liked watching Sam work on the bikes, because he's one of those people that won't let people leave until they're just right, which I think is like one of the nicest things about bicycle repairmen. Like, you don't really get that with cars. They won't just go, well, I'll just adjust this for you before you go. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you have a favourite boat business, or you have a boat business you think should exist that doesn't. And I have to say a great big thank you to Eric, my new patron. Thank you, Eric, for your patronage. I will get your keyring out to you very soon. And in the meantime, I'm going to put over on Patreon a couple of things that I really liked from my interviews with Sam that didn't quite make the cut. So any patrons, you should hop over there and have a look at that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday. Click subscribe if you haven't already to join us again on this narrowboat adventure. Bye!